the list that you have. So if you could send the list of stuff that I told you to write down, and then we'll kind of jump into it.
All right, cool. I wrote it on the notes on my phone, so
okay, yep, no problem.
Copy paste that.
How you doing though? How's your day going?
It's going all right. I woke up a bit early.
You live in the Mid East, right? If I'm not mistaken.
I live in Dubai.
Okay, yep. So what time is it over there? It's got to be like a little bit later in the PM, no?
It's 1 p.m. currently. Yeah, and it's 4 a.m. where you are.
Yeah, it is 4 a.m. where I am. That is definitely
I'm
true.
assuming you're based out of Wichita.
No, I'm East Coast.
I see. Okay.
Wichita is a central time zone state.
Oh, I see. You have to excuse my American geography. I've never been.
Oh, trust me, I'm American. My geography's absolute shit. So don't worry. You probably got better geography than me.
Maybe I couldn't tell you 10 states off the top of my head.
I couldn't tell you 7.
I have no idea how to. You'll have to excuse me because I'm really bad with Discord, considering Discord is actually banned here. So I'm actually speaking. I'm having to speak to you through the browser.
Wow.
Particularly, yeah, that's it's a bit of a monopoly, and when it comes to telemarketing services here in the UAE. I don't know what horror stories you may have heard.
Can you go to jail for doing this?
No, absolutely not.
Oh, okay. Just a little bit of a fine.
If I can, no, not at all. But if they do try and give me a fine or anything, I will lawyer up and take their asses to court.
Shoot. Alrighty then. Okay. So yep.
Before we get started, I just want I'm actually really curious. How old are you?
20.
20. Oh, holy shit.
Yep.
I thought you were older than me.
How old are you?
25.
No, I'm still a young buck, as some would say.
A summer child.
Yeah, summer child, exactly.
Yeah.
So just to kind of get us started, with every single client, the first thing I always tell them, if I'm ever speaking too much, or if I speak something, or if I say something that doesn't make sense to you, or you want me to reiterate something that I say, don't be afraid to have me do that. Just say I'm not really following, or whatever it is, right? If you're not understanding. And also if I'm going on like a little bit of a spiel, or I just like start talking too much, and you have a question that you need to ask me, and it's kind of urgent, and you want to ask that question, don't be afraid to interrupt me.
Understood. Yes.
And also, I mean, do you have any questions before we jump in, or anything like that?
Well, I'm not exactly sure how you want to run through this coaching session and then the VOD review. So I'm just gonna follow your lead and do my best to answer every question that you provide to me.
Yeah, sure. I mean, usually what I do is the VOD review first, and then because the VOD review usually will take up a little bit more time depending on when I have to pause or not pause or whatever. So I usually do the VOD review first and then the coaching after, if that's all right with you.
That's perfectly fine with me.
Okay, all right, sweet. So yep.
I do have one request. Obviously, I've seen your VOD reviews that you've put up on YouTube, and I know that you are particularly blunt and particularly straightforward, straight to the point. You don't really sugarcoat stuff. God. Don't feel obliged to like tone it down a little bit, because we're actually talking like face to face.
Yeah, sure, no
By
problem.
all
I mean,
means, say what you need to.
I'm to put it simply, I'm not someone who changes my my persona, so to say. I'm a very consistent person, personality wise. So if I feel
can appreciate that.
yeah. So if I need to say something, I will say it, and I expect the same back from you. If you don't agree with something that I'm saying, or you don't understand, whatever it is, right? I expect the same thing back. So give me a little bit of context to this. Is this a 5-stack, 3-stack? What's your objective? All that kind of stuff.
This is a duo queue, and we are playing a ranked match in high plat elo. I believe there are some diamonds on the enemy team. I mentioned it was Skyscraper.
Skyscraper
is a map.
I've not shared my screen. That's my fault. All right, here we go. Now we're good to go. Okay. keep going.
All right. So I am duo queuing with a friend, a person who's a part of a stack that I joined recently, and this is a 5-4 game. We win. I believe in. Frankly, every time I rewatch my videos, because I always rewatch my matches if I've got some free time.
Yep.
I cringe at the mistakes I make, and 60% of the time I don't walk the talk, and I think I believe I wrote that down on the. I believe I wrote that down.
You don't walk the talk. What do
you
mean by that? Like you say you're gonna do, or you do something. I'm confused by that.
Essentially, I know what I need to do in order to win my gunfights, or what is required of me as a player, and what is required, like, I guess what is expected of a player.
High expectations of yourself.
I'm very hard on myself.
Yep.
So
Sure.
a lot of the times, like, I'll kind of go into it being like, yeah, I can do this and everything like that, and then my confidence goes out the window. I don't consider myself to be a very good player.
Stop thinking that way. Stop thinking that way.
Yeah. I think that's a problem I need to get over.
It's a huge problem. It doesn't matter how good or bad someone else thinks you are. You know, like there's like Fabian, for example, right? Like mechanically, like he calls himself the best player in the world, right? And yeah, it might be a meme or something like that, but no matter if you make the dumbest decision and it makes you look like a complete idiot, if you still like it, what matters there is the consistency of that thought process, right? Because if you like are really confident one day and then not so confident the next, where's that confidence going? It's not going anywhere. It's just the way that you're applying it to yourself, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. It's kind of since I'm particularly new to this, honestly, I'm new to PC.
Mm-hmm.
Let me preface this by saying that I've only been playing since Void Edge. So
3 seasons?
Yeah, about year 5 season 1 to year 5 season 4.
Okay.
And so I did play on and off, like, before it, but never like ranked, and just kind of fucking around with friends. But then I'm still this is the first PC game I've ever played. Let me preface this as well.
Sure.
So I don't have any preliminary muscle memory or knowledge, or like I'm not as savvy with a mouse and keyboard.
Well, that's the thing about Siege, though, is you don't need to be, right? That's what separates this game from other tactical shooters out there, so to speak. Did you play in console before this, or are you just like new to gaming in general?
I played in console casually.
Okay.
But like, this is the first shooter that I probably invested myself into, just because it's very cerebral. It's almost like 3D chess every single time, which I fucking love.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to put the hours in, and I want to at least a personal goal for me. I don't care about rank. I care about getting better.
That's always that's one of the a lot of people don't realize how like important mentality is in this game, or just like anything in general. So it's always a good mentality to have. Is that right there? If 90% of the Siege audience, or if 90% of the people in high elo in this game on PC applied that one thought and mentality to themselves, the chances of there being more NA Pro League players, or just like high elo players going to Pro League, would be astronomical. It would be insanely high.
I don't disagree with you. I personally, Pro League, I cannot watch Pro League, not because I don't enjoy it, just because it's really hard to understand what is going on.
Yeah, I mean,
like a whole different game.
Yeah, one, it's very hard to follow just from a spectator point of view. And two, it's very difficult. You have to kind of apply the same knowledge of playing the game to the like just spectating the game, at least in a competitive or pro league environment, because the repetitions and understanding what teams do and how they do it and why they do it and etc. blah 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 is a big factor of the competitive side of the game.
I see. Okay.
Yep.
I have one more question.
Yep.
You said that you were going to record this and then put it on YouTube.
Yep.
If I'm understanding that correctly, on
Yep.
Patreon.
Yeah.
All right, fine. So I'll be able to rewatch this.
Yeah,
at any point.
it'll be public if that's okay with you. Of course, like if that.
I'm perfectly fine with that.
Okay, sweet. All right, awesome. Anything else before we kind of jump in fully or anything like that?
Brace yourself.
Brace myself, huh?
Yeah.
So
I wanted to get a game.
Yep. What's up?
I wanted to get a game where I feel like I do some things right and some things wrong, and some of the mistakes I can figure out myself, but I really want to know what I could do better at every situation.
Actually, I know one of them. I know this.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. The thing about that though is like you can like no matter if you play around to a T, there's always something you can do better. So that's like also a good thing to kind of keep in mind, in terms of your mentality.
I see. Okay. And I'll also stay silent. I'll let you talk your, unless I have to say something.
Yep.
Like between. Oh, by the way, can you hear the audio?
Yeah, I
can.
The reason you can't hear it is because I have to share my screen instead of the actual window in like in Discord, so I can draw. Because if I share the window through Discord, like there's two different processes of like sharing your screen. So there's like one sharing the actual Chrome tab, which will play the audio through and the video. But if you share your screen, it captures everything on the screen, right? So if I only do the Chrome tab, like my drawing and stuff like this would be considered an overlay, which would be over what it's already capturing. So you wouldn't be able to see my lines and stuff like that.
I see. Okay.
But if something ever comes up where it's like, nice ADS placement. I wonder where you learned that.
Yeah. I watched a video somewhere. I'm not sure who did it.
Bump this barb up a little bit, because this barb isn't fully extended right now. It'll probably reach right around here, but just try to maximize that utility, right? Because you still have this gap. So just keep that in mind. It's always better to like waste barb, so to speak, in terms of it making it easier for the attackers to melee instead of trying to be conservative with it and possibly not doing something right.
Yes.
Place this barb at the bottom of the stairs as well, because they have all of this map control here. They can walk up the stairs, right? They also have all of this platform to play around with, and also probably right around here is where the barb's going to be. So
all right.
So they can get an angle into the hallway, cut off rotations, whatever it is. So
where would I place it?
Somewhere right around here, towards the bottom of the stairs.
I see. Okay.
5 seconds and counting. Bomb location secure.
I feel like I'm
Usually so two things with this. One, don't reinforce that wall off, and the reason for that is because whenever you're playing a map, like you can use this example here on Skyscraper, where it's very common for people to hold geisha, because it's kind of an extension of the bomb site, so to speak. So holding that map control will ultimately stall the attackers more, make them waste more time and utility and stuff like that. So right there, you've already limited your rotation ability by 1/3 of it, because you have the doorway outside of geisha, right? You have the geisha hatch, and then also there should be a default rotate there on this wall. But apply the mindset or the thought process of, okay, it's common for people to hold this position or that position, and where are we able to afford a rotate, so that way if one of my 3 or 2 of my 3 rotations get cut off, I can still successfully and safely leave this area if I ever need to. Because it's better to have something and not need it than to need something and not have it, right? That whole old saying. So it's important to keep this wall unreinforced and have a rotate there. You have the smoke as well as the lesion impact. So there's definitely no excuse for your teammates not to be able to apply a rotate between geisha and karaoke here. So try to stop yourself from doing this again, or a teammate, or random, or whoever it is.
All right. Yes.
But always try to keep in mind, like garage CC rafters for an example. You know, you usually see a rotate there, maybe a line of sight, but nonetheless, you know, there's usually a rotate there, and if there isn't, then it's a line of sight. But nonetheless, again, like, you know, you are able to rotate out or in of garage and CC by having that rotate there, just in case you need to, right?
All right.
Coming with him on ping. Still outside him. Okay.
So I was gonna say originally, okay, that's a really solid pick there. That's only hard breacher. I'm going to assume, I'm 90% sure that's the only hard breacher based off gun audio. But it's important to position yourself more well off here, so to speak. So like right here, if you're playing this corner, you know, where can you go? You really can't go anywhere. You have to cross this angle from the breach, and you also have to cross the window angle, right? So you have two crossfires on you. So as soon as you start hearing the, you know, that Thatcher EMP go off in the Ace Selma, the first section of it detonating and kind of spooling up, you know, start retreating to the middle stack, the boxes in Geisha, right? Because you can still hold an area of the map without being in that area of the map, right? Like, you can still challenge the breach, hold it, whatever, shoot drones. The window is also closed currently. You haven't heard a barricade break yet. So, you know, you can play behind, like, this middle wall here, for the most part. Still be cautious of your window, and until you hear that window, you know, break, or you hear someone outside of it, then you should rotate around this position, right? But, you know, use advantage of the fact that the window is still closed, the breach is opening. You know, you had plenty of time to rotate out if you wanted to, which you ultimately did, but you did it a little bit too late, because let's just say they're holding the cross there, and then this guy in the window is holding more proper cross as well. Like, that would have been too.
That would definitely be that.
Yeah. You have to very selective in how you have to take your gunfights there to successfully make it out.
That's Ash.
One's still on breach. He's on rappel now. Zofia on rappel outside Geisha.
You have a Thatcher here as well for the most part, unless he rotated.
Still karaoke window, grappling.
Oh my god. Okay, so two things here. Firstly, you're really worried about the window when you don't need to be. One, you have the barricade still intact, so you can play an audio cue off of that barricade, right? You know, it's one hit right now, so they would have to hit it again and then vault through for them to successfully be able to grant them access into Geisha. And you also have the barbed wire there as well, right? So you have two different audio cues and pieces of information for before you need to worry about the window, right? And also here, you know, your primary focus should be the breach, just because, you know, again, the barricade and the barbed wire, right? So you don't need to worry about the window until you hear the barricade break, and then you hear the barbed wire as well, if it gets destroyed or someone's walking through it, or you hear it meleeed. So you're what I like to call this is you're in an unready position. So I don't know if you've ever played sports or anything. Have you ever played sports?
Basketball, but casually.
Okay, so I mean, I'm sure you know, like, the saying, like, be in a ready stance. So, like, having your knees bent, your shoulders kind of forward, being in a much more agile position to the point where you're able to move laterally, horizontally, vertically, whatever it is, for, you know, the physical sport, right? Just being in a ready position. The same logic applies here. And what I mean by ready position and how you can apply that logic to this situation is minimizing the steps it would take you in order to take the gunfight here, or the possibility of a gunfight, right? So having your crosshair in the right position. So you're kind of looking back and forth, side to side, right, a lot. You're looking around, making sure that things are clear around you. I'm not really sure why. It could just be a lack of experience. But that's one step. of being closer to a ready, or being further away from a ready position rather, is, you know, your crosshairs kind of not really in a proper position, and also you're not ADS'd. So that's two different steps that you have to take just in order to take this gunfight on the Thatcher who's about to swing the single wall here, right? So not only are you going to have to take your crosshair from a position like this to a position here, but you're also going to have to ADS in the process. So you're making the gunfight and the possibility, you're making the gunfight harder, and the possibility of winning the gunfight and the percentage of winning that gunfight go down drastically, just because you're missing two important steps in becoming more ready for the gunfight, right? Does that make sense?
I see. Yes, it does. I have one question though,
Yep.
since I can't hear the video. Did I hear the Thatcher jump in? Because if I recall correctly, hole that Ace made with his Selma was a vaultable hole, not a crouchable one.
He used two Selmas. So the first one was detonating, and then he threw the second one at the bottom, so it was two different holes. So if we go back here, I'll actually show. I'm almost positive. I could very easily be wrong, but from my... Okay, so it was a walk-in breach, actually. But I can see... Yeah, but he used two Selmas, so it was able to be walked through there. Yeah, see? So what I saw, going off my previous information, was like a head hole and then like a prone hole. So that would indicate that it would be a walk hole, right? Because he's using two Selmas in order to open the wall. But nonetheless, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It like, so what I think what you're implying there is like, if you thought it was a vault hole, you were playing off the vault or the vault audio key, right? Is what I'm assuming. So it wouldn't even matter there either, because you're still not ready for the gunfight, right? So even if you are playing off the audio cue, which is completely fine, you should still only be worrying about the breach, right? No matter what, because you have the barricade as well as the barbed wire. So minimizing those two steps of not being ADS and poor crosshair placement is still automatically putting you at a disadvantage, whether or not you're playing off of the audio cue, and, you know, let's just say that the vault prompt was there, or was a vaultable breach only. You still have to take those two steps in order to be coming at an equal ground, so to speak, right?
Yes. Understood.
Still karaoke window.
You don't need to be on a cam for this long over here.
Supposed to be raffling karaoke. Zofia.
Neither the one in sight. We should be looking. Maybe. Actually, I'm not sure. I'm trying to figure out what this guy is.
He's in Dragon. NJ.
Okay, he's in Dragon. Okay.
Shooting bro.
He's already drum side right now, because he just shot the default cam there. So I don't know if you know what the sound cue of a default cam being shot is, right? Like the little like static like glass kind of fall type thing.
Yeah, it's sort of like it's like a glass break followed by like a static sort of sound. It's hard to explain.
Yeah. So immediately there, you know, look at what you're given, right? So you know, as just playing the game, that Valk only has 3 cams, right? So as you can see, you see 1, 2, 3 cams. Okay, well, if the Twitch didn't shoot a default cam, or sorry, a Valk cam, then which cam did she shoot? Well, think about what other cams are in the area where you're going to be able to hear an audio cue from them, right? It's going to be the one near drum over here in that general vicinity, right? So that automatically tells you that she is somewhere like bridge or drum or near T-door over here, right? So she has to be in one of these 3 locations between these 3. So automatically give that call out, because if she's not shooting the default cam, or sorry, the Valk cams, then that immediately tells you that she shot a default cam. And also a Valk cam has a little bit of a different audio cue when it's shot. It's slight differences between the two.
Yeah, I think like I know what sound cues are what, but at the same time, you preface this by saying I don't really know where the default cams are in the reworked skyscraper just yet, because it keeps getting banned. I can't really get used to this.
Yep.
So I believe you see that becomes apparent later in the VOD, where sometimes I'm not exactly sure where the default cam is, and I need to kind of look for it.
Yeah, sure.
But what you're saying is correct, though. Seeing as I did kind of hear it break in the southwest direction.
Yep.
That's where drum is.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I should have called that.
But to even go back to what you just said about, you know, not being able to, like, you're not able to play the map because it's banned in ranked, that's just an excuse at the end of the day, because you still have the option to go into a custom game, right? So it's all about how willing you are to put in the extra time outside of playing a ranked match to actually learn a map, walk around it, you know, soft destruct it, whatever it is, right? That really falls on you, especially when, you know, you don't have the opportunity to learn a map. Always go into a custom game. Whenever a new map comes out, I'll hop into a custom game for about an hour on the test server when a new map comes out in an operator, just to test things out, see how the mechanics the operator's new gadgets interact, and the mechanics of it, and the new map, learn the angles, vertical play, whatever it is.
Exactly. Like what I do, I did this for Shadow Legacy. I didn't do this for Neon Dawn, and clearly I'm kind of paying the price for it right now. But I would go into a bomb T hunt with Buck and just dry run the entire map. I did that for Chalet, so Chalet I'm pretty familiar with, and I should have done that for Skyscraper, but never got around to doing that, and this is the result, I suppose.
I mean, sure, yeah. I mean, you know, like, it's not the thought of focusing on what you should have done. It's just the thought of being better, right? At the end of the day. So now that you know this, you know, go into a custom game, spend 10 minutes, 15 minutes. You know, I'm mostly anyone on this planet has 10 to 15 minutes to spare, especially for something that's going to be productive for them. So, you know, if you truly want to, you know, learn a map or learn whatever it is, you know, you always have that custom game ability, or, you know, hopping into a custom game with a friend or whatever it is, and bringing double soft breach, right? And just testing things out, whatever it is.
Okay.
All right, for the most part, I'm gonna assume that your teammates won that round. There's really no point in you kind of watching the same cam. You and the Legion were on the same one, looking drum door. Maybe call out there though. Well, actually, let me go back here a little bit. Maybe call out there though. When you see this, shit. God damn it! I'm trying to get this right moment. Hold on. Okay, I'm royally fucking up here. Okay, so whenever you're on a cam like this, right? You know, communicate to your teammates. Communicate to your teammates the fact that, you know, you see a piece of information. So, let's just say you get on this cam, you talk to your team in game, and you're like, I see door on ping, I see drum door, I see whatever ping number you have, right? I see this, worry about other, like, and then tell them to worry about other T-door, or worry about T-door, or whatever it is. Because now that you have full information on this, there is no real reason for them to be guns ready on this area. Because the smoke is alone in T. Let's just say the Twitch walks through the door, kills the smoke. You know, like, there's a lot of different what ifs, or what could happen, or what will happen, whatever it is, right? But nonetheless, you need to try to minimize that factor in this game as much as you can, because you can't predict how a round is going to play. It doesn't matter if there's 3 seconds in a round or 30 seconds. There's still a opportunity for error on your team that the enemy can capitalize on, right?
Right.
The probability of someone winning a round in a 1v3 with 3 seconds left are low, like extremely low, but like Twitch F2 high fire rate, your teammates all line up, all 3 headshots, right? Like I've seen clips of it on YouTube. It's just possible. And you don't want to be that guy on YouTube. So, tell your teammates, I see drum door, and then immediately after, tell them, worry about T-door. Tell Smoke, worry about your left. Smoke, worry about T, whatever it is, right? Just make sure that your teammates understand what you're able to see, what you're not able to see, so that way they can then position their angles and positionings around that. Because, you know, it's arguable that a dead person still has the same influence in a round as an alive person, right? Just based off of information, because this is such an intel heavy game, right? So it's important to realize that and understand that you still have as much of an influence and impact in a round as an alive person is when you're dead. Are you in Discord or in a voice chat?
Let's fucking go, Bunny. With the guy in the with bunny.ff, the Legion currently.
Are you so you're in Discord with him?
I'm in Discord with him.
Oh man, look at you! You're
doing-
breaking the law, huh?
Oh boy, don't tell anybody.
Oh snap!
It's not really it's not that much of an enforced law. It just makes no sense. Roblox is banned here. I mean, come on.
Roblox?
Yeah, Roblox.
What the heck, man?
I don't know, man.
Here in Kona land, that's an act of violence.
Yeah, that's heresy.
Yeah, I know. I'm
Sacrilege.
saying.
Oh wait. Okay, never mind. Back on track.
Yo, you said you live in Dubai, right? You got any rich friends? That's such a stereotypical thing for me to say as an American.
Oh, I could explain exactly how things usually work over here, but it's whenever somebody finds out I'm from Dubai, because I am Emirati, like I'm not like an expat here. It's usually gravitates from one to two things, and it's you take camels to work, or do you have a Ferrari and do you wipe your ass with $100 bills?
Well, you got any rich friends though? You got my
yes.
Yeah, you got my donation link, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you.
I'm just
I'll give
fucking
you a
with
plug.
you. I'm just fucking with you.
I'll give you a plug. Don't worry about it. You're good.
This ADS here though, you know, so what I usually do for this ADS, let me try to see if I can get a right moment here. So you can get up on the chair, like vault up, and then put your ADS like somewhere up here, right? So, I don't know if you've ever heard me talk about melusis, but you want to place melusis in an area of the map or in a doorway or a window where it makes it much easier for you to kill the enemy and much harder for the enemy to try to get rid of your utility, right? So instead of you know, because there's these micro changes in the game that could really have a great influence in the game. So firstly, placing the ADS this close on the door, they can stand the left side in terrace and get an angle on this, right, and shoot it. So you never want that. But what I want to get at more specifically here is placing this ADS, vaulting up on the couch here, and then placing the ADS somewhere up here is going to make it much easier for you to set yourself up for a kill, so to speak. Because instead of placing an ADS head height right around here, this level, so you place your ADS like right there, you know, if an attacker walks through this door into minibar, all they have to do is just look to their left, head level, shoot this ADS, and then, you know, go back
at head level.
Yeah, go back to pre-aiming. But instead, if they want to walk through the door again, they now have to look up here, get rid of the ADS, and then readjust more, right? Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah, so it's sort of like it could be that small difference, I suppose, when they have to adjust their aim back to headshot height. That
Exactly.
split could probably,
Especially in a game where
Okay.
you know, one bullet headshots is an instant kill. Super important.
Yeah.
That's also a Twitch drone. I think getting a Velcam near you. If I'm not mistaken off audio cues. I could be wrong though. Oh no, it's a default cam. So I don't know if you bought this. I don't know if you know about this cam spot, but this is where the default cam was. Where I was talking about. Right here.
Yeah, I found that out later on in the round when I wasn't shot out.
Okay.
It's just committing a lot of things to memory, and sometimes I mean, I tunnel vision a lot. I know that I have that problem.
Yeah, that's a huge issue with a lot of new players in the game. But I will say that your attention to detail and willing to learn is what separates you from other players. Like, I can already tell you that. But,
Thank you, I appreciate that.
yeah, no problem. Lost my train of thought. I can't remember what I was going to say.
Sorry for breaking the.
No, it's not your fault at all. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. So, what you said about capacity? You said something about capacity of information, right?
Yes.
So, you know, the more you play the game, the more you will see default things. Therefore, it will take less brain power and brain processing in order to realize these things, right? So, let's go back to the round previously of where you're playing Geisha and you reinforce that wall off where there should be a rotate, right? The more you play the game and the more repetitions, the more you'll understand that, hey, there's going to be a rotate on this wall. I don't even need to think about it because I know it's going to be here because I've seen it a million, trillion, billion, quadrillion times, right? So that is only going to come with time. You can excel that process a little bit by watching content creators and stuff like that and just looking around the map, seeing how utilities place and where people are positioned and stuff like that. So that way you can kind of speed up the process of understanding what default things are usually done on maps and bomb sites. So that way, you know, you can kind of not skip, but shorten the process of having not limited, but more important brain power going to more important things that are going to be different during a round, right?
Of course.
So that will only come with time of understanding what things are usually done every single round on bomb sites and maps. But here I want to talk about, so whenever you're roaming like this and it's kind of like a 3v3, especially on a map like Skyscraper where you're not going to be able to really successfully flank for the most part because there's really no place for you to flank. You know, they already opened the VIP wall to your left over there, and they've also opened the office wall as well. I'm almost positive. I could be wrong though. But nonetheless, whenever you're in a situation where it's like a 2v4 or a 3v4, you know, effectively it's a 2v4 on site, right? So even if the attackers refrag off of each other, if they kill both of your teammates on site, now you're in a 1v2, right? But if you're on site and you're able to refrag, now it's going to be a 1v1 or a 2v2 or whatever it is, right? So whenever you start seeing stuff like this and they're really pressuring the site really hard, understand that you should rotate back site to like see this bandit is dead, and now I would say like 60-70% of the bomb site, now 100% of the bomb site. So this is what I mean by you know, playing site close like this, because now that your mutes left, they have full site control, right?
Yeah.
So they didn't even have to kill the mute in order to get full site control. So now what you have to do is retake the bomb site when you shouldn't be in this position by just playing closer to the bomb site, right?
Yes, in hindsight, I should have probably rotated back to site through Shrine. But you're about to see some body, yeah.
That's another... Yeah, so I was right about my whole breach thought process. But that's what I mean by, you know, taking those extra steps, right? Now, like there you had to lean to the left and also ADS just to take the gunfight, right? So make sure that you're putting yourself in a ready position.
So I think I definitely like pre-aim. I did say this, like I feel like I have issues with every part of my game and it's kind of inconsistent. Sometimes I feel like I play relatively well, sometimes I'm a total bot, and I want to at least, you know, if I'm going to settle on a position, I want to be that consistently, you know what I mean?
Well, the thing about what you just said though is you said that you said you think you have issues with everything. So I thought you were gonna put a Aruni on that window, or try to.
Okay, I'm not that new.
No, I'm just messing with you.
Okay.
But the thing about what you just said is, no matter if you think you struggle with everything or you struggle with a few things, hone in on one of those things, because now what you've done is you've created this how can I say this? You've created this thought process of okay, I need to focus on this numerical number of 1 through 10 of things that I struggle with, right? Instead, you should be focusing on the most important thing that you struggle with. And then, you know, what can also help here is also you know, trying to work on one thing that you struggle with that will also have a trickle effect and have a positive effect on other things. So that way you're indirectly positively affecting and fixing other issues that you have in the game by fixing only one issue.
Yeah, that's that one.
I see. I have yet to well, I do kind of want you to pinpoint what my biggest issue is.
Yep, sure.
So then I can work from there, because I did mention, like, I think everything is a problem, but I'm not sure what is the biggest problem.
Okay, yep.
Shit's so fun to say, I swear.
One way drum. No way drum.
I mean, you have good crosshair placement, so use that to your advantage, right? Like in a plat 3 gold lobby, like I'm assuming like you're plat 3, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, mid plat 3.
Yeah, so you're gonna be playing against golds. You know, a lot of plat 3 players are also kind of gold players as well. They just kind of got blessed to be in the rank.
Yes.
That was a good shot there. Also listening to the audio cue. Where did he come from? Did he walk in?
He came through the door,
Yeah, he
but I
approached
tried to
walk in.
run away and ran into the teriyaki table.
But what I want to get at here is you have good crosshair placement, so use that to your advantage because a lot of people in your ranks won't. So make sure that, you know, again, you're taking those extra steps to put yourself in a much more ready position, right?
Yes.
So this was a nice shot here. You saw her go prone, and then you're also getting spotted. You're trying to reposition because you're getting spotted. To be honest, there I wouldn't have expected the Thatcher to walk in either. So, you can always say like, oh, I should have expected this or that Thatcher to walk in, but at the end of the day, you can't predict and do everything. I would say maybe there though. Instead of bringing a bulletproof, bring the barbed wire. Because you already have the Valk, so I'm not saying that you're necessarily stacking information, but you know, having a set of barb is always usually a good thing to do. At least one. You also have the Legion as well, but Legion slows people, but you know, people can still walk through the Legion mine, right? And still take gunfights like that Thatcher did.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, barbed wire slows audio cue, so you have a little bit more of a gap for you to create an error, like what you just did there of sprinting and trying to reposition. Because he tripped the Legion mine, he walked in, and then you died.
In that situation, should I have just stood my ground, or?
Well, it's not so much as standing your ground. It's... Well, like, we can look at it like this way. So, you swung an angle that would have put you at a disadvantage because you're swinging to the left, which would have given you, which would have taken you longer to grant you access into the angle, right? So here you get spotted. A moment later, you try to sprint out. Instead of going to the left and trying to reposition, swing to the right. Because you still know this guy is somewhere around here, in this general vicinity. Like obviously he's here now, but you know, like the doorways are right around here. He tripped the goo probably right around there, maybe in the door actually, and then he walked in. So
he would be anywhere in that certain area.
Yeah, because
I just want to acquire that angle as fast as possible.
Yeah, because you know that would have minimized the chance of him doing what he did, which was walk in.
I might have actually been able to survive if I had peeked right, because I probably would have caught him in. I also have an angled grip, I believe. So
yeah, exactly. So your primary goal here was probably to reposition and then get into the angle. But you know, if they have info on you like that, and you also hear a goo, don't worry about them having info on you. React off of the information that you have, not what the enemies have. That can be taken in a in a wrong way, but in this specific very very microscopic situation, swinging to the right would have ultimately been better for you than swinging to the left and trying to escape.
Of course, and that'll come with experience. The more I play, I'm sure.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
No, very quick decisions as to what situation I'm in. How should I behave in said situation?
Yeah, exactly. Like that's what I was saying earlier about your process of information and the capacity of it. Like, you know, you won't be you'll be able to process information a lot more because your mind will be a lot more clear. Just because you don't have to worry about these basic things that will once become basic the more you play the game, right? They'll become like an expectation for what the enemy does, so to speak. So you don't really need to worry about it just because you've seen it and experienced it so many times.
All right.
Does that make sense, though? Do you have any questions so far after the third round?
My operator selection, was that wise given our current lineup? I typically wait for at least 3 people to select roles. And just because I one person.
The thing about duo queuing though is like you can't expect or like have the thought process of a teammate playing a certain operator a certain way. It's just more like whenever you're solo queue or duo stacked, you know, the randoms ultimately have the not advantage but the what's the word I'm looking for? Majority rules type vote. So if they want to go a certain bomb site and you and your teammate are disagreeing, you want to go somewhere else or whatever it is, you know, like playing like a duo stack and stuff like this, you shouldn't go under the expectation that your teammates are going to do something a certain way just because they're playing a specific operator. Like you like
naturally.
Naturally, yeah, because now you've created this expectation and like thought process of your teammates doing something, and then if they don't do it and it ends up getting you killed, right? Like that's still on you at the end of the day, because you put this trust into them. You should trust your teammates, but you shouldn't trust them to the point where you think in your head they're gonna do something that you're thinking, right? Because they could do the exact opposite.
I wouldn't put myself in a compromising situation, assuming that they've got my back or maybe holding a cross or anything like that. So
yeah.
I should probably... I guess I could do that with the person I'm duo queuing with.
Yeah.
But in that situation, I probably... What should I have... Should I have played... I mean, at the time, before I died, what was the man count?
It was a 2v4.
2v4, so I should have aggressed, no?
Yeah. Like if you're ever like in a 2v4 or 2v5, like you got the first pick that's really good. Now to set you guys up like really well is to get into a 2v3 or a 2v2. Ideally, you want it to be a 2v2, but you can still skim by with a 2v3. You're gonna have to position yourself a little bit more cautiously. But once you get around to that like even man count, like the enemies being one up on man count, that's when you can kind of start to pump the brakes, cool off, reposition, kind of evaluate and stuff like that.
I see. Okay.
But when it comes to your operator selection and to like answer your question, you know,
Aruni is by no means a comfort pick for me. I don't really play Aruni that much, but I know that there's a hatch and I know that there are windows looking into sight.
Yeah, like
I picked Aruni based off of that.
I'm torn on my answer here, so you can either play for yourself and the teammate that you're queued with, or you can still play for the team, but it'll make it much less impactful in how your utility is used, because there's just simply a lack of coordination, right?
Yes, I mean, if I was to go the comfort pick route, it would have still benefited in some way, because one of my favorite operators to play on defense is Cade.
Mm-hmm.
Properly pronounced Khaid, but he has I play him a lot. I have a lot of hours on him, and you know, I do know that there is an exterior wall. Actually, is there still an exterior wall? Because I'm thinking to my right, to my immediate right.
I don't believe there is anymore.
There isn't anymore. Okay, fine.
But still, you mentioned, you know, bringing aruni for the hatches, well, you can still bring Cade, right?
Yeah,
It does the same thing.
I could have brought Kite either way.
I'm trying to think. I could be wrong though, but I'm pretty sure that there isn't a hatch here, or a wall rather. Let's see.
10 seconds to insertion.
Yeah, so there isn't.
Yeah, there isn't one anymore.
Um.
All right, shall we press on to the next round?
Yeah, I'm trying to give you a solid answer on the whole operator selection thing though, because like it's arguable that like yeah you should play for the team still, which is always a great mindset, but you're still not going to be able.
It's probably. I think it's probably you're probably struggling to give me an answer. Is because the situation in and of itself is a bit difficult. I am playing duo queue, and I suppose maybe if I was in a 5-stack, I would need to be hypercritical about my operator selection, especially if there's a strat involved. But at this point, I'm still. I will openly admit that I do not know this map very well.
Yeah.
So I'm just going off of little bits of information that I know, which is okay. I know that there's a window and I know that there's a hatch, and I don't see anybody bringing Qaid or Aruni, so I'll have to go for I'll go for one of the two. So I guess operators. I guess maybe I knew the answer to my own question. I don't know. I'm just trying to make sense of things.
Well, like you're like Cade. Like if you're saying Cade is a comfort pick, then by all means go that. Because and like this is where I'm torn, because you can say that, oh, we need a Jaeger, we need a Wamai, we need this, we need that for a team play environment, because you know you're still at the end of the day it's still 5 players on the same team, but there's just going to be a lack of coordination from a duo queue to a 5-stack. So
exactly,
you know, bringing an operator for team play is always still a good option, but also playing for yourself is also a good option. So that's where I'm torn, because you know, bringing Cade here is still you know, good, because you can electrify the hatch, you can you know do whatever it is you need to do, which will ultimately also be a comfort pick, which is another thing that's pretty strong in solo queue, is kind of playing operators that you're comfortable on and confident with, because you know there's going to be a lack of coordination, as I was just saying, where you know you might have to end up getting really aggressive in a 2v4 situation like the one you were in.
Yes. So I suppose it would have been a win-win situation if
Yeah.
I had picked Hut.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It does. Like, it's sorry to put you in that situation.
No, it's not your fault at all. It's just like I just want to give the right answer for me to help you. Is why I was having a difficult time giving one, because one was an opinionated answer of being a comfort pick, because whenever I solo queue I tend to comfort pick operators like Jaeger, Maestro, Zofia, Sledge, stuff like that. And whenever I'm 5-stacking or whenever I'm solo queuing, I also might bring an operator that we need. So it was I was torn, because it was really 2 answers for one question, so to speak.
I see. Yeah. I guess this is probably a good situation where Thermite is my favorite operator. He is definitely a comfort pick for me. And the person in my duo queue is playing Thatcher, so we are playing the support role in this situation. We have 2 flex and 1 entry frag.
Well, that's also the thing, like with solo queue, like that's still, you know, you setting up the expectation, right? Even if I'm playing with 4 other competitive players in a rank stack, which I do from time to time, you know, they're still not playing these operators like they would in competitive, because ranked is just a completely different environment and world.
Yes.
So, yeah.
One day in karaoke.
Bandit checking it, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
He's still bandit checking.
Your teammates need to open the window here and pressure this guy.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I called that or not.
Oh, he's dead. All right, so if once you see this nitro fly out, so let's talk about something here. This is like this is insanely important, but you probably didn't pick up on it. So right here, you hear the Jaeger shooting, right? You also can see a little bit of the tracers. Jaeger's playing somewhere like in the boxes stack right here, right? So as soon as you see this nitro fly out, so you know that Jaeger's here, you know that someone with electricity is also here, so that would mean Bandit or Cade. So you know that either Bandit or Cade or it would have to be Bandit because your teammate's EMPing. I'm an idiot. So it's Bandit and Cade. Or what am I saying? Jaeger and Bandit, right? So as soon as you see this nitro fly out, you fuck your teammate, go to get the wall. Like immediately. Because that's the Bandit off wall. He's distracted. He's going for this kill, right? So as soon as you see this nitro fall out, land, whatever, as soon as you see it, go for the wall. Your teammate's dead. You know, you can maybe try to shoot the nitro or whatever. But, you know, you got a window of a golden window of opportunity here. Because they're
you're absolutely correct. I did not pick up on that at all.
You're gonna have to go. Go.
Over the door.
Oh no.
You were right up on me.
Drop the diffuser. One friendly operator remaining. All friendly.
This is just a little piece of information for your teammate. If you guys are holding a same angle like this, he needs to be holding a wider angle.
Yeah, I didn't realize he was right behind me.
Yeah, that's I mean, you know, you should. It should not be an expectation for you to realize that he's behind you.
This gunfight that I just took, granted, I whiffed. So did he, but what could I have done?
Your aim is jumpy there. And I've seen it a little bit like in other gunfights, but there it was definitely really jumpy. I don't know if it's a sensitivity issue. I'm thinking it's probably a confidence issue of not being confident in winning the gunfight. Just because like the way that you were also playing off of the angle, like you were very hesitant to commit to it, because like if we go back here, like you peek initially and then you unpeak. So you're pre-firing and then you unpeak as he's swinging and then you repeak. So if this guy is swinging into your angle that you're already pre-firing in, so to speak, you should completely commit to that. Because as you also saw, like he's coming out of this angle reloading in the reload animation. Like that's him reloading there, and then you know he repeaks and then you get stuck here. So I want to say it's a confidence issue. So the same thing with the Aruni, like last round with you being Aruni and the Valkyrie. Once it gets to this like 3v4, 3v5, 2v4 situation like this, you desperately need to go for those gunfights.
Yes.
Just because, you know, they're just going to overpower you with man control and forcing you to refrag or take multiple gunfights at once or whatever it is, and just an overwhelming amount of pressure from the enemies. So take advantage. That's an opportunity there that you missed out on a kill. As soon as you see a situation like a 2v4 or a 3v5 or whatever it is, as soon as you see a situation like that pop up, you immediately need to say in your head, the next gunfight I take, I need to win, no matter what. If I don't win this gunfight, we lose the round. Whatever it is you have to do to put yourself in the mindset to give you the confidence of saying, I am better than this guy, I'm about to shit on him. Whatever it is. It doesn't matter what you have to do, just do it. So that way you reinforce this confidence within yourself, so that way you don't miss an opportunity like the one you just missed, right?
Yeah. It's probably a combination of the two things. I would say maybe 60% confidence, 40% aim. Actually, no, maybe 70% confidence. I'm not quite comfortable is the wrong word.
Confident?
Confident.
Mm-hmm.
The word that we were saying back and forth multiple times. So I feel like if I go in there with a mentality like, if I see this guy, I'm gonna shit on him.
Yep.
Anybody who comes come at me, then I will. My aim might have not been as shaky. But at that particular time, I want to say it's mostly a confidence thing.
It most definitely was, and you can tell that by just the way you were playing the angle, right? Like we can watch it again. Like you are Like you pre-fire, bam, you know, and then you see him, and then you peek, unpeek, and then you know, you die.
Yeah.
It's not even it's an aim thing during the moment, but even before the moment, if you don't have the confidence in yourself, before you even see the enemy or take a gunfight, the chances of you winning that gunfight go down drastically, right? It's just like giving a presentation when you're in school. You know, if you're not confident with yourself in your speech or presentation, then you're just gonna struggle even more. You need to go into that. You need to walk up to the front of the class with your little fucking piece of cardboard or whatever it is, and say, "I'm gonna give the best damn speech in this classroom. I'm gonna get a fucking golden star from this teacher today." Shit like that, right?
Of course, yeah. It's I find confidence in I find my confidence in knowledge, and I feel like this is also probably like because at this particular moment, my mind is racing all over the place. Like I've already botched the wall opening. I surrendered to that fact, even though it wasn't really over. I
Yep.
could have still done something. But at the moment, my thoughts are racing all over the place, and not so much panicking, but I'm just like, oh fuck it, I'm just gonna go for it. You know what I mean?
No. What it
Not
is?
with full exertion though.
Yeah. Well, with what you just said there is, you know, having your confidence lie in knowledge, like, and also you giving the example of fucking up the thermite breach, like, once you start doing that, it's going to have a negative domino effect on the rest of the round for you. Confidence and knowledge should be two separate things. Because you can like, it's like an ugly dude picking up a really attractive female at the bar, right?
Sure.
It's the exact same thing. The attractiveness of the dude is your knowledge, which is low, right? Can you agree?
Yes.
And your confidence is just your confidence, right? So no matter if you so
I think I understand your analogy.
Yeah, the dude at the bar, if he is not good looking and has good confidence, the chances of him, you know, getting the girl's number is going to go up. But if he is very attractive and has low confidence, then the chances of him of getting the girl's number are going to be lower than the ugly dude with high confidence, right? It's the same thing. Yeah, it's the exact same thing. 100% correct. So, like, you need to separate these two different aspects of the game.
Yes.
So that way you can have 100% confidence, 110% confidence at all times.
Yeah, this was probably the most important answer you could have given me in this coaching session. Because at least I feel like that was my biggest problem. Of course, like, I can't really say, but I can't really say what I need to work on the most. That's in a sense up to you, because you're looking at it from an outsider perspective. My opinion would be biased, but I feel like confidence is the worst part of my gameplay, and I feel like it domino effects, exactly as you said. My pre-aim goes out the window. I start making stupid plays. I start to rush, or I start to slow down.
Yep.
And things go downhill from there.
So you remember what I was saying when you were playing Aruni on Kitchen? How you know, like you think you struggle with multiple things, and I told you to focus on one thing, and the best case scenario is to focus on one thing that will also have a positive trickle effect down. It's doing the same thing but a negative effect. So if you're putting your confidence in your knowledge, you're lacking confidence, which is also going to have a negative trickle effect on everything else you do during the round. Right?
I see.
So
yes.
Think hit the Uno reverse card on that thought process, and then apply it to what you can do positively.
All right.
There's one.
Understood. Let's talk about like what happened just now.
Yep.
Well, I guess at the moment I saw his icon. I saw Goyo's icon pop up, and then disappear. So I assumed he ran back in. So I tried to acquire a tight angle, but he was just right at the door frame. I'm not.
This is one of those instances where it's kind of like, okay, I died to that. I'm not going to die to it again. You can pretty much chalk it up to that.
Yeah.
There's really not too much analysis to really like, or too much thought that needs to go into this. Besides, okay, I'm not dying to that again. I know about it now, right? It's just as simple as that.
Yeah.
Especially when you die this early on and just to something like, oh, I should have not died to that type thing. Like it'll definitely stick in your head.
I do have a question outside of the game and more about our session. Now it's been an hour that we've gone through, and there's, from what I understood in the Patreon description, it's
I'm not going to cut you short. I'll never do that to
a lot, actually.
yeah, I'm not gonna yeah, I'm just not gonna. I don't cut clients short just because 1 hour just like kind of puts a time frame on it. Like I'll try my hardest to keep it around an hour, but I'm not gonna cut someone short. Like we'll go through everything that needs to be talked about.
All right.
What the fuck? Holy shit! Motherfuckers looking like Tom Brady. Holy smokes! You go for the 7th ring just then. God damn. Why are you not getting on cams here? Are there no cams available? Well, there's definitely cams available.
There are cams available. I think I get on them a little later. I don't remember.
You were just on them. For a moment. Yeah, there.
Yeah, just for a moment.
I mean, to be fair, these are shit cams.
So
So I'm gonna assume that's why you're not on cams, because there's shit.
I like to think I get on cams a lot.
Yeah, you do.
So I guess maybe at the time I thought they were shit cams as well. I can't tell you with 100% confidence though.
Friendly, last operator standing.
If you're comfortable with it, try to coordinate your teammates here, because it's much easier to understand the situation of what's happening. Just because you have an outside perspective, you can swap between teammates and see their perspective, what they're looking at, what they're trying to do, and stuff like that, right? Read their body language. So if you're comfortable with it, at least communicate, hey, Thermite, Ayana's going Samurai window. Refrag off of her. Or Thermite, go stack up with Ayana. Whatever it is. If you're comfortable with that.
I am.
Okay. Start doing that then. If you start to see your teammates kind of slip up, solo pushing like that, try to make sure that they're all on the same page.
Otherwise we're finished.
Yeah.
Be a bridge to that information between your teammates, so to speak.
Yeah.
Me also.
I did write in the description that I do want to get into IGLing.
Yep. In the video? Or in the notes?
Okay. In the notes.
Okay. All right. We'll go over that once we get done with this.
Oh well.
Yeah. We patched it in the one round, but are they in office?
They patched it in one
Yeah,
round.
Insertion in 5
Did you see
seconds.
how many shoes they had? They had 4.
Vigil playing close to the
Shit.
run
A bomb must be located
We're
and
all
defused.
playing 4 shoes.
Is Jaeger gonna
Oh,
catch
do they
my,
know?
Jaeger gonna catch my... What's it called?
Doesn't matter because I just burned both of them.
Oh my god, I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose it with the stature. I'm gonna lose it with you too. Oh my goodness, you're killing me.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, they were stacking on there.
Why are you not bringing flashes?
Forgot to switch.
Okay.
If I have to be honest with
Yep, no problem.
you. So when I play Nomad constantly on consulate.
You guys,
So
hold on, I wanna yeah, okay, finish your thought.
Yeah, I bring breaching charges with Nomad on consulate,
Okay,
and that's when I play Nomad the most. So I forgot to switch.
alright,
To be perfectly honest with you.
sure. I want to go back here. I want to count this real fast. If you guys were really trying to take that map control there, you guys would have been the most efficient Burn team in the entire game. I wish teams could burn Bunker Oregon like you guys just burned here. You guys unintentionally successfully burned so much. All right, so that's 1 EMP, 2.
I'm going to.
Let's see here. 3,
They're stacking.
4,
I can wait again.
5, 6. Holy shit. You want? All right, listen. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna let you in on a little something here. All right. You want to know how you can get rid of all ADSs in about 3 seconds?
Thatcher right up against the wall.
Well, not that. Well, I mean, yeah, Thatcher here. Bam.
Yeah.
Tell Thatcher, hey, Thatcher, stop being a fucking dumbass. Throw an EPM ping, right? You got an Iana, you got nades. Disable, nade, bounce, lands here, inside, all 3 ADS is gone. You can use every other piece of utility, Zofia stuns, Thatcher EMPs, flashes on Therm, Nomad, whatever it is. Nades on Iana, well, the last nade on Iana, all of it, free real estate. All of it. The entire round.
Yeah.
That is insanely impactful.
He got launched back right.
Oh my fucking god.
Did
Oh,
it get zapped?
oh my god! That's 9, I think. I think that's 9. Or 7. Is that 8 or 9? Holy shit. You guys are unintentionally the best burn team I've ever seen. I guarantee you that Jaeger has like 500 points from that interaction there alone.
Smoke tagged.
Jaeger ping 1.
4 last operator.
You guys are crazy though.
Nice one, bro. Perfect.
Maybe try lowering your sense a little bit.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that. I feel like my tracking. The worst part about my aim is my tracking.
I wouldn't say that. I think it's tracking isn't. I won't say it isn't important in this game, but it's not as important in games like Valorant or CS:GO. I will say that much.
Yeah.
There's a lot more. There's a lot more margin for error, and it's a lot more forgiving than other, much more aim-intensive games like Valorant, CS:GO, stuff like that.
But in doing so, I would have undone my muscle memory. Would that still be? Should I still overlook that?
Well, the thing
lower my
about
sense?
the thing about you is that you're new to PC, right? So it doesn't
Yeah.
matter how many times you hit the reset button, because like you have to think about the future version of yourself. Like, make these sacrifices now as the player that you are. Change around your sensitivity, mess with some things, try different things out, and then then build that consistency. Because you won't know what sensitivity you like, what you don't like, especially when you're new to PC in general as well. Like, you won't have a gauge to apply to yourself, so that way you can kind of go off a feeling from game to game on terms of sensitivity. But your aim is jumpy. So like there, like you saw the Jaeger's head. That was pretty much a freebie. Like there, if you make the micro adjustment, this guy's dead. For the most part.
I don't know where the-
Right? Like, you see how jumpy your aim is and stuff like that? It's also probably incorporation of the recoil on the weapon, but nonetheless, make those sacrifices now, so that way you can be more successful in the future.
Even after being a year in, is that still a wise decision to make?
Oh, you've been on PC for a year? You've been playing the game on PC for a year?
Since Void Edge, and we're about to start. That's year 5, season 1.
Wow.
We're about to start year
Holy
season 1.
smokes. That changes it up a little bit then. If you're comfortable with doing that, yeah, but it's kind of like you don't want to force something onto yourself, right? So if you feel comfortable with changing it, go for it. But
Because I want to know if that's the if I should actually lower my sensitivity, or I should just practice more with my sensitivity, because I haven't changed it, and I think it's like a by industry agreement, it would be a alright sensitivity, which is 1212 400 DPI. So I would want, I guess, I don't know, honestly. It's very confusing for me.
Again, if you're comfortable changing it, go for it. If you want to stick with it, also go for it. I'm not going to tell you what to do, because it really does come down to feeling in terms of the individual. But I will say, from my experience throughout my FPS, not career, but just years of playing FPS games on PC, you know, changing around your sensitivity from time to time and kind of getting a feeling and a gauge, will help you in the long run, long term. Like I'm talking like a couple years from now, or 5 years. Because I've been on PC for probably like close to 10 years now, or probably around 10 years plus. And I've changed around sensitivities a lot through multiple different FPS games. The more you change your sensitivity will give you a deeper understanding of what you like and don't like. Right?
I see. That's a good point, actually. I'll put some thought into it.
Yeah, sure. That's always a good thing to do as well. Is think before you commit to an action.
I could take.
That's a good adjustment from you there, so they're probably gonna go Geisha, you bring the Maverick instead. That's good.
Just scream.
Shockwater disabled.
And he's dead. Yep.
Nice, that's better.
As soon as I heard the audio cue, I knew.
Yeah, the battery being placed.
Ah, another good pick. That was Ella or
I think
Melusi.
that's Ella.
I listen, I got love for all the devs at Ubisoft, but I need to know who the fuck thought of putting that shit in the map. I don't know what their obsession is with making things look aesthetically pleasing. Function over form, ladies and gentlemen, please.
I suppose at some point some compromise needs to be made.
Yeah, it's just like, oh man, you can at least give us the option to turn it off or something,
What the fuck? Sorry,
or get rid of it. I mean, oh man, it's rough.
I can drone you, bro.
You located a bomb.
Come, take correction, come. And one on the Baxter.
Legion on pink 4.
Why didn't this thermite? Okay.
One in karaoke.
Two karaoke.
Oh, that guy got fucking smoked. He got sent to the Shadow Realm. Good shit.
Or Vigil.
Two karaoke, pink 4.
Vigil karaoke.
Blind.
Landing.
Oh no, he's in there with you.
Cover the diffuser.
Oh no.
One T-room, one in
Yeah.
Did you not realize? I'm assuming.
I didn't realize, and so I see two people stacked on T door.
Mhm.
Two of my teammates. So I'm assuming if they're that far into the side, at least a thermite. If he's that far into the room, then he would be getting into a gunfight with somebody.
Yeah,
the
but
T half wall.
yeah, that's understandable of
So-
that thought process. But look at the angle that he's on, right? So the Legion cannot see him unless he stands up. The Legion has to look through this little half wall here. From here to here, the Legion has to hold an angle through. He won't be able to see this thermite. The Legion can probably see right around to there, maybe there, but nonetheless, he won't be able to see where the thermite is. So yeah, like, you know, your primary focus shouldn't be to take the goo out, right? Like this also this is actually exactly what I mean by putting trust into your teammates, right? Or expecting them to do things. If they don't call something out, or if that you don't know for 100%, always take that precautionary step of checking the room.
Was there a call that I missed, seeing as I can't hear the audio?
I don't believe so. The only calls that I've been hearing is you calling karaoke and another person in game chat calling karaoke as well.
So what I wanted to do in this situation was pull out the goo because I wanted to plant.
Yeah, of course. But you know, a goo is in a life or death situation, right? Like you can still eat plenty of of it, you know, and do, you know, finish clearing the room. So, you know,
yeah, I think this comes down. I think also it's just based on my map knowledge. Since I don't really know all the angles too well on this map. Perhaps perhaps I thought it was clear just based on where the thermite is standing.
Yeah, of course. Also, we can pull back a previous piece of information here. So if we go back here, when you're peeking the T door, you hear the Legion shooting, right? You hear the T5 here. Right there, you hear the T5 shooting. So
yes.
React off, or go off of the previous information that you had, right? Especially when you kill the Jaeger and you know for a fact that the last person or the second to last person is in karaoke because you've been actively shooting at him. Then that would also tell you that Legion is going to be in some area close to T. Okay, so actually the Legion was able to see the thermite. It was just an unfortunate timing of the thermite peeking into the Legion's angle, and then you not being able to react fast enough off of that. So that was unfortunate timing there. But nonetheless,
it's also kind of on me. I should have gone off the information.
Yeah, exactly.
Previous information.
You know, pay attention to gun audio, right? Like it's super important piece of information. It's really good for keeping track of positions and stuff like that, and going off audio propagation and stuff like that.
I thought.
Yeah. I mean, if you're tricking, I can give you guesses.
But so far, do you have any questions, any concerns, anything you want me to kind of go in more depth on? I know that you wanted me to evaluate you more as a player. So if I'm not really doing that to your expectations, just let me know. I'll definitely go into that more in depth rather.
Frankly, I would prefer if like you just keep doing what you're doing. I don't want to interrupt your thought processes or anything like that. So that you get like just garner like a better understanding of me as a player before like I have my questions, because my questions will be based off of your feedback.
Okay, sure.
Am I making sense?
Yeah, and also, you know, I'm kind of saving the whole like individual aspect of this for the actual coaching, because VOD review is much more example based. So that way, you know, you can look at this one example and see how many different situations you can also apply the mistake that you made the information that I'm giving off of the mistake that you made. So that's why I don't really go in depth in terms of individual. I do whenever someone is only, you know, having the VOD review session. I'll kind of couple those two packages into one another. But since you are paying for the VOD review as well as a coaching session, it kind of changes things up a little bit.
Yeah, wait, hold on.
I see.
Try to stop yourself from placing ADSs together like this because of Thatcher's up, right? So they can EMP, one EMP gets 2 ADSs. The same way how your team burned about 3 million pieces of utility on 3 ADSs. And you could have just disabled all of them with 1 EMP.
Yes.
Try to spread them out a little bit, so that way you're getting a trade of utility.
Actually, no.
I put my Sui
Yeah, they're on rappel outside Geisha.
Laser gate in position.
Well, then I before I forget, I just thought of something that I have to write down. Okay, all right, that's all I needed to do. I had something pop in my head.
I see. Okay.
I'm writing the script for tomorrow's video, Tuesday's video.
They got your thing
I
with
see.
the...
Let me take this opportunity to say that I think it's quite incredible what you're doing, and I really appreciate.
Hey, no problem. I appreciate the kind words, man. Means a lot.
Yeah. Because there are naturally like Siege content creators are a dime and a dozen.
Yep.
And all of them either give very vague feedback, very vague highlight clips and everything like that, and it gets a bit stale after a while. Is because it's you know.
I heard someone outside try.
obviously I'm over exaggerating a little bit, but it's almost like a just aim better, just play T-Hunt and everything, but they don't tell you why. They don't tell you the the 5 W's of what you are doing.
Mhm.
You have to excuse me, my English is not my first language, so
No, you're fine.
they don't tell you the who, what, when, where, and why.
Yeah.
Of why of just Siege in general. When I watch your videos, I feel like it's compact, comprehensive, and you get straight to the point and you don't sugarcoat shit.
Mhm.
Which I really appreciate succinct
Yep.
information. So naturally, like I wouldn't, if let's say, I mean, like I'm sure Shock is a great person in
Yep.
person, but like I wouldn't go to him for a coaching video, if that makes
Sure.
sense, because I feel like it won't be as in depth as your explanation.
Yeah. That's I always try to have a few pieces of consistency throughout my content, especially like guide content or whatever you tip content, whatever you want to call it. I always try to tell people what they need to hear, not what they want to hear. And also
that in and of itself is the biggest
yeah,
appreciation, is because I see a lot of coaching. I see a lot of VOD reviews from different people, and most of the time, you know, they'll recoil spray headshot a guy from the other side of the room, and then they're just like, "Your aim's pretty good. You're cracked. Maybe try you're nutty. Maybe try 4:3 aspect ratio or something like that."
yeah.
It's like try putting an angle grip and everything, and it's just like, what are you talking about? Shut up. Like,
yeah. Well, one thing that I always try to do with my content is be transparent, and also a lot of tip content creators, and no disrespect to them, I'm very close with the larger ones and the more consistent ones when it comes to tips and tricks. But one thing that they always try to do, or what they do rather, is they teach people how to play the game. But what I do that separates me from them is I teach people how to teach themselves, which gets you much further.
teach a man a fish analogy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's just like, and yeah, it puts me at a disadvantage because I'm not telling people what they want to hear, but in the long run, it'll be very beneficial for me, and I know that it's what separates me from everyone else. Because I'm confident in when I say that I give the best tips and trick content in terms of this community.
And you would be correct, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very biased, and you know, I'm also present, or what's the word I'm looking for? I'm conscious of my ego, and I know for a fact that I do. And you know, I'll die on this hill, because I put more hours, I put more work, I put more thought into the game than a large majority of the other content creators do. That me, so to speak, the mainstream ones, like obviously pro league players and people like Zyronic. Every time I watch that motherfucker, he teaches me something new. That's why he's my favorite streamer.
Yeah.
And that's why I love him. Is because
I love Zyronic.
Yeah,
like even like I listen to Hot Breach podcast a lot,
Mhm.
and you know, there's Zyronic and there's Get Flanked.
Yeah.
And Get Flanked has a lot of hot takes that even I find questionable, but it seems like Zyronic has such an in-depth knowledge of the game. He also has a magnificent beard.
I've
shot
the shit with him a couple times in the DM, and that motherfucker knows what he's talking about. He puts in some work behind the scenes. He tells me it'll be I DM'd him one night, and I was like, yo, I don't know, I was asking him about something, or we were just talking, and he's like, well, can't sleep, time to go whip out the he has like a fucking tablet or something, or like a computer, or like a laptop that he uses, and he just like breaks down maps and like learns different angles and makes strats and shit. Yeah, just like 3 a.m.
so unbelievably dirty.
Yeah, that motherfucker's just built different.
Yeah, I mean, like, he's like, I think it's very easy to see people who put in the work.
Yeah.
And it's also very easy to see how much they really give a shit about helping people improve rather than boosting their ego. Because see a lot of people. They're just like, okay, I'm going to do this tips and tricks video, but really what I want to gloat about the champion charm hanging off the gun that I'm using in all of my highlight clips that are playing in the background with a shitty lo-fi hip-hop beat, and these kind of things. Like, it gets very exhausting.
Yeah, I mean,
they're a dime in a dozen, and so that brings me back to the point, which is, I feel like you cut all that bullshit, and it's just pure, really good content, and that's why I confide in you for information.
I think
I
I
don't listen to
appreciate it.
anybody. I listen to a21mayo.
Hey, good shit. Good shit. All right, let's talk about this round here.
Can we rewind a little bit?
Yep.
Because I do right as soon as I get into my gunfight with actually a little bit further, like when I run into like samurai. Yeah, so from here. So this is the beginning, middle, and end of this gunfight with the Twitch.
They got your thing with the... Yes.
One Twitch on top.
There you probably could have you could have stalled a little bit more on that Twitch. Maybe told the K to rotate back sight, and just played around with her, like not trying to take the direct gunfight, but just waste time.
Yes.
That was an option in that situation, but if rotating back isn't
I heard someone
here. Okay, here, never ever peek.
Yes.
Look somewhere else, and then also strafe the opposite way, because you just heard an audio cue in terrace. Like you're looking where the Cade is at, but also walking down the stairs still,
I
right?
heard someone outside shrine.
Yes.
There's someone in terrace right now. I think it's a Twitch.
Oh, already
That's someone in
black stairs. Entrance.
Okay, Twitch actually rotated.
To engage.
I don't know what I'm hearing then. I could be giving wrong calls here. Okay, this is like... Okay, that's good. You were still prepared. That was a really good job. That's what I want you to start doing from here on out, is what you just did there. Even if it was... Yeah, even if it was you going off previous information off the Twitch, which is wrong because the Twitch already rotated, but nonetheless, you are preparing yourself for the gunfight, right? Even if you don't know anyone's there, or if they are there, or whatever it is, right? So, that's what I want you to do every single time.
2 geisha, John. 2 geisha,
Two
1
still in
mace.
geisha. Careful.
Crosshair
Okay.
placement's a bit funky here.
Okay.
Well, not anymore, but like while I was clearing.
Yep.
Shrine and...
Protect it.
Or in karaoke.
Karaoke,
In
1
here, I
geisha.
don't think I'm at headshot height.
Landing in karaoke.
It doesn't really matter. As long as you are aiming in that general area, it'll only get better with time.
Op 4 has located a bomb. You know what to do. Located a diffuser. Destroy it.
Downed.
That's Geisha.
One down.
Friendly, last
One is in
operator
makeup.
standing.
Last is makeup. Other one is down.
Wait, you're calling that makeup?
Makeup.
Yeah, call that Geisha.
Downed. We still call that geisha, right?
Yeah, just call the whole room Geisha. It'll be much easier
Okay,
for your
yeah.
teammates to pick up on. So this is gonna be a really small piece of detail. I'm actually gonna switch the what do you call it? The thing here, so you can actually hear.
Diffuser,
So
destroy it.
understand how sound propagates. So if we enter there,
Downed. I can't really see the screen. I can hear, but I can't see.
you can't see it.
Downed.
You
Wait,
can
maybe if I click here.
click the stream again, and then it should work. I think it's because I switched.
Yeah. It's loading at the moment.
Okay.
So-
Let me try this. Let me just restart the stream.
Okay, try playing. Let me see if I can.
Down,
Thank
one
you.
down.
Friendly, last
One is in
operator
makeup.
standing.
Last.
Okay, so nonetheless, can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, so you hear, after you injure this guy, you hear him stutter step in Geisha. And you're going to hear him through the hole into
Or
Geisha.
stutter step?
Yeah, stutter step, like walk, like step. Just like make an audio cue of like a step or two. And immediately you should pick up on, so you know how sound works in this game, like the sound engine? Like,
It travel least path of least resistance.
yeah. So, going off of that knowledge of audio taking the least amount of resistance in order to reach you, and also coupling that with the fact of how loud it was, that will automatically indicate that he's holding this hole here. So that's a really small piece of detail that I'm assuming you probably didn't pick up on, but it ultimately got you killed that you didn't pick up on it.
Other one is down. I see.
We're eliminated.
So if it's just so I'm understanding this, correctly, if the sound is louder than normal, then he should essentially be through that path of least resistance. In this case, the hole.
Yeah. So,
like on the opposite side of it, like straight through or playing close. That's the
okay. So
that's the confusion I have.
With audio, there's a few things you want to keep in mind. So, least resistance, you already know this. Now, since you know that, it might fuck with you sometimes where you might hear someone below you or above you or side or whatever it is, and it might fuck with you a little bit because you're hearing someone like across the map, but you know, they sound like right next to you, right? And that's just, that sound can definitely be wonky in this game sometimes, but usually it's a good thing to like keep in mind of however loud something is the distance away that you're hearing that audio from, right?
Okay.
So the closer it is, the louder it's going to be, right?
I see.
Another thing with audio is, like let's say you're on a middle floor of a 3-story building on a map, like let's say Cafe, for example, right? Audio is going to have more treble, I believe it is. Yep.
You lagged out a little bit. Sorry.
Where did I get cut out at?
The last time you said audio, which was maybe like a 2
Okay,
seconds.
so
it cut out for about 2 seconds.
Okay, so audio, like let's say you're playing a like Cafe, for example, right? Audio is going to, if you're on the middle floor of Cafe, you have a floor above you and a floor below you. Audio is going to have more treble when it's below you, I believe, if I'm not messing my terms up here. Basically, it's going to have more mids and it's going to have more patter to the footstep, if that makes sense, right?
Yes.
It's going to be a little bit more crisp. And if it's above you, it's going to carry more bass.
Okay, that's actually very helpful to know.
Because, you know, the weight of the actual operator is above you, so it's going to carry more weight through the actual footstep.
That makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yep.
Like from an audio perspective, like I do audio engineering work.
Yep.
So I understand, like, I guess frequencies a little bit more to like a detail. So now knowing, like, I know what if I'm looking for those bass frequencies, if I'm looking for that kind of thing, it would actually probably save my ass from time to time. Because the worst is when audio is propagating from above me or below me. Like if I'm in the middle of like red stairs, for example.
Yep.
I don't know if the guy's above me. I don't know if the guy's below me. I don't know if the guy's in cigar. I don't know if the guy's on the ground. But then again, there's also the difference between whatever he's walking on, like wood. Or
yeah, textures, loudness of it, how it's propagating, what's near you in terms of holes. There's a lot of different factors when it comes to audio that can determine whether or where someone is positioned.
I see. Okay. So, am I supposed to be looking at a screen at the moment because it's like blank?
Yes, you are. Thank you for letting me know. I don't know why. It is. I think Dubai might be hacking into your systems.
Oh, I guess
booting you
probably a SWAT
offline.
team on the way.
Yeah.
I'm
Breaking
about
the
to
law.
play Siege in real life.
10 seconds before insertion.
Open drum. Interesting.
5 seconds to insertion.
Can you see it now?
I'm gonna
Sorry?
Go from...
Can you see
Yeah,
it?
I can see.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see.
A bomb
Alright.
must be located and defused.
They made footholds. They're
Frost.
prepping,
Frost.
Instead of peeking that window first, you could have died there. Do
Yeah.
your job first,
Did someone watch Geisha window for
and then die. If you are going to die, then die after you do your job. Legion, Frost, Jaeger, Ella. I'm trying to guess here. Smoke? Maybe Aruni? Let's see if I'm right. Valk, fuck.
4 for 5.
Oh, open the window here. Open the window. Because once this breach gets, like, before the breach gets opened, open the window. Because now what you've done is what I was talking about the very first round of this VOD, of using the fact that the window is closed to your advantage. I guarantee you the defenders are probably rotating around in Geisha, scot-free, because the window is still closed. Yep.
Yeah.
Same thing applies to, like, a lot of things in this game. There's a lot of different areas of the maps where you can apply that thought process to. Also vertical play, like on Consulate, for example, if you guys are trying to take garage and above, you shouldn't really be applying vertical pressure until the breach is open, because now your teammates can't cut off their rotation ability, and you're not establishing a crossfire and applying as much pressure as you can be, by you just wanting to apply vertical pressure before the breach is open.
Deployable.
You located a bomb.
On one side, buddy.
Where's that?
I'm in drum.
I'm on side. Yeah, I'm on side.
Just a little tip here. Whenever you're holding an angle, like on a staircase or something, kind of turn on X-ray vision here a little bit. So the staircase is going to be right around here.
Mm-hmm.
So lower your pre-aim just a little bit, right? Because they're going to be coming out of a deficit, so it's going to put their head lower. Does that make sense? Just to put yourself in a little bit better of a position for aiming head height. And as I say that, I eat my words, because a pulse swung you head height.
Planting in T.
One in terrace.
So it's top. You should know immediately that it's top black stairs, karaoke, and drum.
Last one terrace.
Last one is drum side.
Drum, no?
Last was drum.
No need for you to hold that angle there.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah, hold the breach because your Thatcher's here, right?
Yeah.
So the only way for her to get to that position is to either kill the Thatcher or cross the breach.
Yeah.
And then also, you don't need to swing the hallway. You use the information that you had of peeking through Geisha through these T-holes, allowing you to see into T, right? And again, this is something that will only come with time, but instead of, swinging into the hallway, which ultimately did you good because she was already past the angle, but you're in a post-plant situation. You don't really need to swing, because if the Frost kills you 1v1, who knows what happened, you might lose the game.
Dude.
Yeah.
Nice one.
Op 4 neutralized. Mission success.
But nonetheless...
This is a habit I'm trying to,
Yep.
This is a habit I'm trying to break. So the way I took the gunfight with Frost, I guess I mean I have a problem with leaning in fights.
You're not swinging with the angle.
Yeah, I'm not swinging with the angle, and then I'm leaning the other way as soon as I start shooting, which will offset my aim.
Oh no, bro.
You'll see that I
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Right to left. Yep.
So there, whenever you're like swinging into an angle like this that's deep, you need to be tracked. So let's just use this corner here as an example, right? Like this close one. Let's just say that's the doorway because I can't see the doorway right now. Your crosshair should be attached to this here, and then as you are, swinging out of the angle into it, there should be moments where you're readjusting your crosshair placement so that way you're always accurate on this corner. Then readjusting, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then also...
Yes, it does. And...
Yep.
Sorry. I don't want to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
I try consciously to do that, but because of my sensitivity, or just my aim in general, I find it really hard to keep it consistently at that point that you were highlighting with the echoes.
Is it a factor of just not being comfortable in the sensitivity, or you're just physically unable to do it?
I couldn't tell you if
do you run at a mouse pad when you do it, or is it just
Oh. No, I don't run out of mouse. I don't run out of mouse pad.
Okay, so then
I think it's a sensitivity issue.
Yeah, so it's probably just comfortability with the sensitivity. Whenever you're playing T-Hunt, focus on these things, right? Focus on, tracking and stuff like this. Find a corner on the map that you're T-Hunting on, whatever it is, and spend 5 minutes doing it each day. Those what's 5 times 7? Math, right? It's 35, right?
35.
So, that's 35 minutes a week. That's over half an hour. 4 weeks in a month, multiply that, whatever that is. American math doesn't teach me that. And bam, there you go. That's a lot of time just because you spent 5 minutes a day, right? And also to help muscle memory and stuff like that. Just a whole bunch of positive things. And as for your leaning, that's just something you have to be conscious of.
Yeah.
You just have to be conscious of it and make sure that you don't do it. But does that wrap up everything on the VOD portion of it?
Yeah, it should.
Okay. Any questions?
Now,
Yep.
I have to rewatch the VOD over and over, just so I can fully internalize everything you said.
Yep.
Because it's a lot of information was conveyed.
Mhm.
So I want to understand a lot of these. I want to understand everything perfectly. So for the next time that I show you a VOD, hopefully I would be doing the things that you instructed me to do.
I hope so as well.
I really do, yes.
Okay, so no questions or anything after that? No concerns?
No concerns with the VOD portion.
Yep, okay. Sure.
Yep.
Yep.
Incredibly comprehensive. Thank you for taking the time for looking at this whole VOD. It's a 5-4 game.
Absolutely, no problem. So, with that being said, let's jump into the coaching. All right. So, everything. So you say, let's look at this here. I feel like everything can be improved, but I don't know what needs improving more than others. So I think we already kind of covered that, and I kind of answered that question, or that statement that you just put there of the trickle effect. Does that answer what I said earlier about what you just said there? Okay. I just want to make sure. So, mechanical skill, I hate to break it to you, but I can only give you pointers, and I'm not going to waste I'm not going to waste your time of explaining things that I've already explained in videos, because you're paying for this, so I want you to get the most out of it. So I hate doing this, but I'm gonna chalk that up to do some research on my channel, or just research in general of mechanical skill in FPS games, because if you're gonna pay for something that if you're gonna pay for information that you can just get for free, I'm not gonna waste your time and your money by explaining stuff that you can very easily get access to for free.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. And if you still want me to go over it, by all means, tell me. But
it's very selfless of you.
Yeah.
I don't feel like there's enough of that nowadays.
I try to be as honest as I can be.
It is duly appreciated.
Hey, no problem. So elaborate on winning my 1v1. So give me an example, things that you struggle with. Kind of give me a better understanding, so that way I can answer this concern a little bit more.
Okay, like you've seen me get into a couple of 1v1s.
Yep.
Or abstract sort of 1v1s where I'm just focused on one guy, I'm not focused on anybody else. I feel like if I was to assess myself, of course, in order, it would probably be positioning, crosshair placement, comfortability with my sensitivity, and then recoil control. If I was to go from most important to least important.
Crosshair placement, comfortability, recoil control, and what else?
Yeah, comfortability. Those 4 things. So it'll be. Sorry, let me just make the screen a little bigger. Positioning, crosshair placement, recoil control, and then between crosshair placement and recoil control, I'd put comfortability with my sensitivity.
Okay. So are these things that you are saying for self-evaluation, or things that you want to go over currently?
These are things that I'm saying for self-evaluation.
Okay. All right.
I mean, I'm not sure what you want to go over. What you feel would be.
I'm willing to go over whatever you want to go over. So we can go over this, we can go over that, whatever it is.
Okay. Inconsistent focus. I think we've touched upon that in the VOD.
Okay, but before we jump into that, actually what I'm understanding now is like these are subsections to this section is what I'm understanding now, right? What I did. Okay, yes. So position. There's 2 things when it comes to positioning in terms of 1v1s. So either you could be the aggressor or you can be the angle holder, and whenever you're playing angles, you need to make sure that you're not holding a common angle, and you'll definitely experience this in higher elo, because trust me, you will get fried off of common angles. So
yeah, the pre-fired common angles, so people take off angles and such.
Yep, exactly.
Like a 90 on Villa behind the box.
Yep.
Yeah, crouch height. I pre-fire that and I got quite a few kills.
Okay, so
based off of that.
Hey, good shit. But when it comes to kind of winning 1v1s, I like personally, I really don't think your crosshair placement is an issue, because you've already shown that you have good crosshair placement. You just need to make sure that it is consistent. Is the biggest thing. Crosshair placement in general is not an issue for you. Being consistent with it is the issue.
I see.
So that can definitely be a factor in winning 1v1s. But kind of answer the positioning thing. So the biggest thing with positioning is like you should be positioning yourself on defense. If you don't have to be an aggressor, you should be positioning yourself around where the attackers aren't, because you want to avoid taking gunfights if you don't have to, right? Because if you avoid as much as possible, and I'm not saying you should always avoid, but if you should, it will decrease the chances of you dying, right? Which is ultimately, you want to stay alive for the most part. I mean, I would hope so.
Of course.
So positioning is going off of information that you have as a defender as well as an attacker. And it changes up a little bit more as an attacker, because you need to be the aggressor at all times for the most part, because you need to take map control in order to set yourself up for a plant. So does that answer your question about kind of positioning in this subsection here?
Yes. From a theoretical standpoint, yes, it does. But from your observation in the VOD, what would you say is like my... first of all, do you agree with the order of importance? I already know you think crosshair placement is a non-issue, consistency is. But these are just the things that I feel like I die to most of the time in 1v1 situations. So
the most important thing that you need to focus on, in my opinion, is your readiness. So again, like you playing Jaeger and Geisha and the Thatcher swingy, right? Like you had to take those 2 steps before you even could make it even ground for you guys again, right?
Yeah.
So automatically you're at a disadvantage.
Proactively rather than reactively.
Yeah, exactly. You're reacting off of the swing when you should be proactively expecting the swing, so to speak.
Yes.
So that's something that I think this like that trumps everything else on this list. Like comfy sense, we've already kind of touched on that. I'm not gonna waste your time or money there either. It really does come up to what you're comfortable with. Like some people, only need sleep for 6 hours a day. Some people need 8, 10, whatever it is, right? Same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing applies there. Recoil control is something that you as an individual can also work on. I can tell you things like
I have a custom game, a local custom game that I put on, and I just spray a couple of mags into the wall in the house, trying to control it because I play a lot of smoke.
Yep.
And it takes a lot of time for me to learn recoil naturally because I'm new to PC. So I would practice my SMG11 recoil probably the most in T Hunt. I'd say 60 to 70% of the time I'm playing sledge with the SMG11.
Okay.
So
Sure.
I'm trying to put the hours into there, but I'm also curious if it's like I'm also concerned if it's a moot point because I practice a lot and then I can I can dome all the terrorists and everything, but in a actual in-game situation,
Yep.
my confidence kicks in, and then I stop paying attention to my recoil control, and then I'm shooting at the moon. You see what I mean?
Yeah, I do. So, when you said confidence, what do you mean by that? Like a lack of confidence or overconfidence?
Lack of confidence.
Same thing applies there. So, exact same thing when I say doing one thing. This is a great example of what I meant by doing one thing will have a positive effect, a trickle effect on everything else. So if you reinforce this confidence in yourself, you say, I'm gonna shit on this guy, SMG11 in hand, right? That also has a trickle effect on your recoil control. It is no longer a thought or a concern in your mind of whether or not, oh, am I going to be able to control the recoil control on the SMG11 during this gunfight? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. Like, not put the recoil control in and of itself at the forefront of my mind. Put the kill, die, die, die in the front.
You're putting the right amount of thought in the wrong things.
I would agree with you 100%.
Right? So
yes.
So
I think that
does that answer everything here? Do you have anything else you want me to go over?
I think that answers everything here. And if we refer to the list above, those bullet point list, a lot of it bleeds into one another, like confidence, positioning, inconsistent focus, winning my 1v1's mechanical skill. All of those things could be chalked up to what we just discussed, in my opinion.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's exactly what you said. It's a trickle down sort of thing.
Yeah.
That thing. So I think confidence. With that being said, I think if I have more confidence, I'm more confident in my aim. I'm focusing on the most important thing. Then everything will slowly fall into place.
Exactly.
So
it's kind of
there's
like, that. It's kind of like you ever play like fucking bingo or something? You ever play bingo?
Yep.
You know how like the middle section you always get for a freebie?
Yes.
That's your confidence. And you don't have that middle section right now.
Yeah. I agree with you.
You're not getting that freebie for everything else to line up properly.
Yeah, that's true. Point number 6, efficient droning. So most of the time, I'd say 90% of the time, I am playing support on attack. I am playing either support or flex. That is generally the comfortable roles that I am. Those are generally the roles that I gravitate towards. So hard breachers, I want to know in and out, everything like that, and I put my own research into that, so that's not really an issue. But once again, it's inconsistency with my droning. So it's the worst feeling in the world when you drone out a room, call it clear, a guy jumps in and gets shot from a rat angle. He's hiding underneath a fucking bed or something. It's a horrible feeling. And at that point, I've underdroned. And then sometimes I overdrone, where I will just clear everything like in front of me. And granted, as a support, I should be doing that, but sometimes I'm not actually playing the support. I'm playing like Sledge or something.
Yep.
And so I would take out that support mindset will bleed over into the entry frag, where I've got a dude right behind me who's gonna drone for me. And usually I'm on Discord with him, or he's just talking to me through in-game chat. But I'm still there droning. Like let's take this for example. Here's a perfect example. Whenever I'm anticipating them playing kitchen in Coastline, I always go Sledge. And I go above into master bedroom and do what sledges are supposed to do.
Yep.
But when I drone, I will drone every nook and cranny of the room, call that it is clear, and then drone every nook and cranny of theater until it is clear. Go back, do VIP, go back, do Hall of Fame is just a single pass, and then I'm like, okay, I feel like I have droned enough. But in the time that I am droning VIP and everything, I drop down and I get shot in the head by a dude in theater.
What you need to realize is, okay, so two things that you need to realize. One, where's the most immediate threat from when I enter the building as an attacker, right? Two, this kind of ties into what I just, like, the first thing, is where are the defenders most able to rotate through and from? Because, you know, they're going to take the shortest amount of path, or the shortest path, rather, to reach an area of a map that they want to reach, right? So if they want to enter, for this example in specific, if they want to enter Hall of Fame, right? Where can they go? Well, they can either go through theater, penthouse, or they can go through VIP into Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Right? So if you drone, what you should be droning is Hall of Fame, into penthouse, into theater, dropping, and then checking 90 white stairs, leaving a 90 cam for someone to watch. That's what you should do in that situation. Because now, and then, you know, you can, once the 90 cam is established, then you can finish off droning VIP, or someone else can. But you need to think about where the most direct threat is for you, especially when you're solo roam clearing, right? Does that make sense?
Yes.
So think about, okay, where is it most likely if someone rotates in the area that I'm trying to take? Where are they going to come from? What rotation ability do they have? And how long will it take them to get from outside of the area that is a direct threat to me to an area where it isn't a direct threat to me? So a non-direct threat would be somewhere like VIP hallway or 90, and a little bit of the short hallway outside theater door. You can still very easily be shot in penthouse from like top white stairs luggage area, around that area outside of the theater door, which is still a direct threat to you, but it's not a room, it's more of an angle by that point. And also making sure that there's no bullet holes on the top white wall to theater is also always something that you should look for in that specific situation. But if you apply the mindset and the thought process of where are the defenders able to rotate through and from, and where is the most dangerous angles and positions and rooms that I can die from. If you glue those two things together and think about it, it'll help out a lot with droning and stuff like that. And what, as you were saying about misdroning, I mean, it's just misdroning, right? Everyone does it. Like Pangu does it. Like support players do it that only live on drones do it. Like it just happens. We're human. We make errors. But what makes the difference between a player who makes an error versus someone who is willing to learn from that error is just learning from it, right?
If there's one thing that I've kind of gathered from this is that I think I'm hard on myself to a fault, because I think that's probably maybe why my confidence is very low. because I want to micromanage. I want to do everything, but sometimes shit is out of my hands. Like I just gotta do the best I can, I suppose, and just be confident in the immediate moment. Because I feel like the droning is also something that ties into the confidence. Would you agree?
Yeah, it does. It does. Droning is just as much of a skill set as shooting straight is. So that's a lot through my videos.
Yeah,
it's
I agree.
it's a skill set that is very underutilized in this game.
Yeah, it's that's why I play this game. At the end of the day, if I wanted to play a shooter and just go, shooty everywhere I want to go,
Mhm.
then I'd be playing Call of Duty, and I fucking hate those kind of games.
Yep.
Like I actually don't like any shooter besides Rainbow Six Siege. It's because it's more of a tactical game
It's
rather
tactics
than
before
anything
shoot.
else. Yeah.
Yep.
It doesn't matter how good your aim is. If a copper is holding just the right angle and you don't check that, you're dead.
Yep.
And I think that's absolutely glorious. So
Absolutely.
that's yeah. So that's the droning thing. Map knowledge and callouts. I like to watch one particular YouTube channel. His video, his name skips me at the moment. But he
Reaper?
basically does like a run through.
Is his name Reaper? _Ian En?
No, it's not. He's also German though.
How
He's
many subs does he have?
I don't know. I mean, actually, I could probably find this out for you right now. But here's another issue, and I think this is also a confidence thing. I would need your take on it though.
Yep.
Sometimes I feel like because I am not saying anything, because I am not saving anything. Wait, no. How do I phrase this? There have been situations where I'm in such a hurry to make the call out that I end up calling out something wrong. For example, I will let's take clubhouse basement. So there's main stairs hallway leading up to Moto.
Mhm.
I could maybe there's a cam or something. Let's say I have the information. And it's a post-plan situation. No, let's in fact remove that as well. This guy's pushing fast. And what I would do is I would not call out Moto. I would not call out main stairs hallway. I would call out the first thing that comes to mind that would be generally close to that area, which would be bottom main stairs. This guy would already be entering Moto at this point. But I'm in such a hurry to say quickly what the position of this guy that's about to swing on a teammate in church or something,
Mhm.
that I end up fucking them over. And they don't really say anything, but deep down I know that I got them killed. People will rarely say it, just because you could just chalk it up to, oh, he crossed the room fast and he got into Moto fast and immediately came in. But in reality, I could have probably said that better. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah,
trying
no,
to
no, no, no. It makes
get
complete
the thought
sense.
process going.
No. Whenever it's always better to take your time when giving a call out, but you want to have urgency in the emergency, right? So
Sometimes there's a bit more urgency than sometimes I focus more on the urgency rather than the emergency, and that in and of itself messes up the call.
sure. I mean, everyone gives false calls. I do it every day. So what?
Maybe my stack is toxic, because as soon as you don't say, oh, he's in pee pee poo poo corner, holding an angle at shit creek, crouched, probably had bacon and eggs for breakfast, then you're trolling.
I mean, okay,
You know,
so
like, it has to be really fucking
there's a
specific.
couple things about this. So you can either take this as you're giving the information, which that's all you need to do, or you're giving a broad piece of information, which is all you need to do, or you should be giving a much more accurate piece of information. So let's go over the broad piece of information. So you can chalk it up to something similar to what you said about this guy is bottom main stairs, right? And your teammate dies from moto door. Well, you can always chalk it up to, oh, he has legs, he has a keyboard, he can move, right? But if you have accurate information and you actually want to get your calls better, you need to be able to read the body language of whatever you're seeing on a cam. So if you see someone sprinting down main stairs and read their angle that they're looking at, like their operator model, read their character, and just say the closest area. So actually, this is funny. So you remember what I was saying about you roam clearing, right? And the most direct threat, right? Well, in this situation of someone running down main stairs, what is the most direct threat? It's either long or it's moto. Short, they can do fuck all, right? So giving the most urgent call out and having emphasis behind the call out, and also the most, not dangerous call out, but the most dangerous area where that player could be is what the call out should be. So
I see. Okay.
Does that make sense?
So it would be moto in this case.
Yeah, it would be
moto door.
Yeah. Just say moto, like moto. There's moto. Like if you see someone like near moto door, just keep saying it until you see your teammate who is exposed to moto door react to it. And if they, it's not you can't do anything about someone reacting off of a call out. There's very few situations where you can afford to have a full blown conversation and say, "Hey, Maestro, wake the fuck up, listen to my call." Very rarely you can say that, because a lot of times calls are either overlapped or there's just too much information for that to happen. So if you're giving a call out, that's all you need to do. It is now on that person and your team to register that call out, because you cannot force someone to register something. That is their ears and their mind. So you giving the call out, like if you're giving the most accurate call out you are humanly capable of doing, then that's completely fine. You did your half of the deal, or you held up your half of the deal. Now your teammates need to hold up their other half of listening. If you're going to be the giver with the call out, they need to be the receiver. And if there's a issue in those two sections and you deliver your half, it is important that they receive your half. And if they don't receive it, then that's ultimately on them.
I guess that's probably a good way to look at it. So that's probably the correct way to look at it.
Yeah, I mean, callouts can always be better. Like as I said, everyone fucks up callouts. It's just human nature. Our brain gets overwhelmed. We think about another place instead of another. We just stumble on our words, whatever it is.
Yeah. So I guess yeah, maybe that's. I guess that's down because other players.
Yep.
Because I'm usually the most vocal on the team, especially in like a 5-stack, they put a lot of confidence in me, but I don't have that same confidence in me. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Like if I make a call and I've got a deep ass voice, so do you. If I make a call, they hear it.
Yep.
So if I it's more pressure on me, which in turn affects my confidence. If I give a wrong call, this guy's probably going to listen to it and he's going to die. So I need to, in a sense, I don't know. I think maybe it's just experience. Confidence. It's the confidence thing. I'm realizing this more and more and more. So I guess, yeah, moving on from that.
Yep.
The next section is like I want to become. It's like more efficient at droning, more consistent playing my best. We've touched on all of these points. The IGL thing, I think we'll probably get into after, but these are things I think I'm good at, and I want you to reality check me. I want you to like, I guess I want you to. You've seen me play in like an average situation. That's as average of a game as I could give you. It took a while, by the way. I think I mentioned that on Twitter.
Yeah.
I think I'm Yeah, these are the things I think I'm good at. I think I'm a team player, operator selection, team composition, strategizing, map knowledge, with callouts. Never quiet, always vocal. Not
It's
toxic
okay.
at all.
So
Always the person you
here,
gotta do. These
I'm
kind of things.
I'm gonna kind of stump what you're trying to get at here. So it's not about what you think you're good at. It's what you're wanting to get better with or better on, like better in the game. Because you can put as much thought into like I get at least one message a day, and people are like, "Oh, Mayo, how did you get your movement like that? Why does your Mayo look so? Why does your movement look so good? Or whatever it is, something with my movement or aim or whatever the fuck it is, right?" And sure, it might look good to some people. To me, I think it's average. It's whatever. But you know, the more and more I hear it, the more and more I'm like, okay, well, I probably do have good movement or whatever if more people are saying it. But at the end of the day, I don't really focus on it because it's by that point you're now taking the focus of focusing on things that you're already good at by people telling you that you're good at, and and it's taking away things that should be taking up that thought process and brain power, right? So if you think you're good at these things, then you're good at these things, because you can also couple this with your lack of confidence, right? So if if you're at a lack of confidence and you still think you're good at these things, then it's still reinforcing the things that you're good at. Because if you're not confident in yourself on a day-to-day basis as a player, then you know, and you still think this way about yourself in terms of the positives of what you can do, then that means it is, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, you know, also like yeah, like the things that that you're good at is I can also agree. Like operator selection, team composition, strategizing, I really couldn't go into that because it was a duo queue. Map knowledge could be better. I mean, you know, skyscraper was like sort of a doozy. In terms of not really knowing it and being understanding of the map.
It's still like a new map to me, if that makes sense. So I need to definitely need to dry run that.
Yep.
Need to dry run it, learn the call outs, all of that.
But other than that, like yeah, I agree with everything else.
Rather, what do you think, like, what do you think I'm good at, if that makes sense? Like, is what's something that I shouldn't really have to worry about?
Your mentality.
My mentality.
Everything everything stems from your thought process, right? I think I already touched on this previously in the session, but literally everything you do just as a human being is what it starts as a thought, right? And if you can have, so it's funny, man. The trickle effect, right? The motherfucking trickle effect. Same thing.
Yeah.
Everything starts as a thought. If you have a good mindset, everything will be a good mindset leading to everything in that subsection of that section, right? If you have a negative mindset, everything will be negative in that subsection of that section. Same thing.
Yep. It does make sense. 100%.
Like I can tell you, you know, like a good shot here, a good shot there, but I'm not here for that.
Yeah.
I'm not here to tell you things that you know you're good at or things that you want to hear in a sense. And I'm not saying that you want to hear this. I'm just saying in general. Like
in general, of course.
A large majority of Siege players and just people that are in my chat are there for the acknowledgement of me, not for the benefit of themselves.
That is something I definitely see. Is because I feel like people show you. I feel like in your VOD reviews, I feel like some people, like I feel like I can tell sometimes if a guy is, like, you know, doing stuff, because I have a good, like, frame of reference for what a good player is and what a bad player is.
Yep.
And I feel like they show you the games where they land a nutty headshot or a wall bang.
They show me the games that
they
show me the games that they want me to see.
Exactly.
I feel like meanwhile, you're showing me the games that you know will ultimately help you get better.
Yes, I do think that's the case. Like I I will show you if we do continue working together, then I will continue to show you games where I feel like I'm not all there, or I do some body shit,
Yep.
or these kind of things. I'm not like, with all due respect, I'm not here to like prove myself to you. It's not like you're recruiting me for a team.
Yep.
Like it's I'm confiding in you to help me get better, which you already have by the way. I think you've put everything into perspective, if anything. So it's ultimately up to me how it's one hand can't clap, if that makes sense. Like
It
I
does.
need to
Yeah.
be able to give you things to work with. So
Um.
that's my take on it, I suppose.
Okay. So. So. Besides IGLing, because I know you said you wanted to go on that, go over this. Is
Yes.
there anything else you want to go over on this list?
Let me see. Things I'm struggling with or daunted by. Entry fragging. It's down to confidence. Taking control of a situation gone wrong, down to confidence. Correcting unnecessary leaning in gunfights. That's just something I need to pay attention to, as you said. Something I need to actively try and not do, because I won't do it in T-Hunt. I also have fucking insane aim on T-Hunt. It doesn't matter. It's because as soon as I get into a game, I'll whiff, I will lean, I will look like a fucking Duracell bunny. Like it's not gonna. It's gonna like, these are things that need time, and like it's like, of course, like when you say work on my confidence, it's obviously more of like a personality thing, or just like I love things to be black and white, and Siege is a shit ton of gray. So it's it's harder for me to get better at Siege than I think most people are. Like I'm not gonna say, like, now that you say like, oh yeah, work on your confidence, I'm not gonna walk into the next game and being like, Hawk, ladies and gentlemen, for I am here to save you. No, that is not. It's gonna go. Like it has to, like but like there are gonna be moments like, diffuser plant and I'm a defender, where I'm gonna look back on this session, I'll be like, okay, Mayo commands me to uh commit to shit. Mayo commands me, if I'm going to swing a guy, I'm gonna do it. He's gonna die because I want him to die. I am not going to die here. I'm gonna do everything, and I'm not gonna tunnel vision on things. I'm not gonna worry about what Jaeger had for breakfast. I'm gonna worry about what's happening right in front of me. Well, not right in front of me, but you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Go.
And it doesn't even matter if you make the right decision or wrong decision, because ultimately you're still committing to a decision with confidence. And if you make the wrong decision, you're still making a decision nonetheless, which will still teach you, right?
Yeah, like I'll swing a guy. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do it. Here I come. Oh boy, here I go killing again. I start looking at this guy, and then as soon as I see him, I'm like, this guy's probably gonna dome me right now. This guy probably, my ping is. I should have peeker's advantage, but do I actually? It's because it's only 80 ATMS. All of these stupid things, and then there you go. I'm whiffing, and then little tiny fucking things.
Yep.
Instantaneously pop into the head, and then it all goes downhill from there. And it's just, or like sitting there, and I'm just like, if I miss this guy, or if I like I'm hiding around a corner or holding like a passive angle or something like that. If this guy sticks diffuser and I misread him and I jump out at the wrong time, then I lose for the team. And they lose elo. I'm public enemy number 1. I smell like shit. Like these kind of things, I need to need to really focus on these kind of things and just be like, you know what, I did what I did, and in the most respectful way. If it didn't work out, then at least I'm happy, and we only grow from here, I suppose. So yeah, I think of course, like everything that you mentioned with throughout the VOD was equally as important.
Did I answer everything in terms of this section though of the actual coaching?
100%.
Okay.
Yes. And we are going over time. I really do not want to keep you.
No, you're completely fine. I will say for the IGLing thing though, drop the equivalent to my skill level. Okay. IGLing is the most selfless thing you can do in this game. Because you're playing for yourself as well as for other players. So apply the mindset that you said at the beginning of this session to you think of the game as 3D chess. That's the exact way you should think of the game.
Yeah,
especially as an IGL. If
I want to be.
Yep.
Oh, sorry, I'm very sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
Oh no, obviously, I'm aiming really fucking high, but I want to be the next Fabian Holsten. I want to be like Canadian, these kind of things. These are my favorite players. I don't give a fuck about Bolo, Scheiko, or these kind of guys. They aim good. Like that's of course there's like a lot more game sense and everything, but I like the strategizing. I like being at the commander's desk.
Yep.
And so that's why I love playing support and I want to be an IGL. If I spend the 80% of the time on drones, so be it. That to me is the most fun part of the game.
Have you watched my IGL video?
Yes, I have the whole thing.
Okay, I just want to make sure you watch that. It was like a 30-minute video or something like that, and I broke down everything in that round.
On Cafe Dostoevsky. Yes.
Yeah. So one thing with IGLing though that will really help you on attack and defense is having a blueprint. So I don't know if you want to get into competitive, but in the ranked aspect of it, IGLing isn't really needed. So if you really want to take IGLing seriously, get into a competitive scene in this game. I recommend that everyone plays competitive in this game for at least a season, because it will truly teach them the light of how this game should be played. And
I've played a little bit of competitive, just a tiny bit.
Okay.
Because there were teams that wanted to try out tactics in Southeast Asia, so like these Thai teams, Singaporean teams, everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a part of a Discord. I left it. It's because, goddamn, are they fucking noisy? They would essentially be like, okay, we need people at like Plat 3 and above to, get onto the enemy team, and we want to try our strats, and you have to do like your best to counter set strats and everything like that. It's just like, okay, fine. So we play with the competitive rules, 6th ban, no points, these kind of things, and it goes on for a while. This happened like 2 months ago, maybe. And naturally, I got shat on. And,
yeah.
Well, if I don't care, I would rather lose a game every fucking time and learn something from it, rather than have one amazing game and immediately think that like I'm doing shit right. I would go down to fucking copper if it means getting better and improving. Like, that's really the mentality that I want to have. So yeah, I got shit on. I got shit on for 2 fucking hours. But I came the next time, and I came the time before that, and I don't want to generalize or anything like that, but people in that scene are a toxic fucking bunch.
What, in competitive?
Not competitive as a whole. I guess based on my knowledge, like based on my experience, the competitive in Southeast Asia. Like, I'm Arab.
Mm-hmm.
All of these guys, there are some people like, there are Egyptians and everything like that. Callouts are all in Arabic, which is okay, except, for, weird things. But holy fuck, are they aggressive. They are fucking aggressive. Why didn't you say he was over? Why did you say he was over there? Why is your ADS over here? Fuck you. You smell like, I don't know, a goat. Like, stupid fucking shit. And it gets they're really fucking aggressive. But at the end of the day, I'm learning is because if they're making such a big deal out of it, they're one, fucking stupid and they should shut up, or two, I need to ask myself why it's a good idea and make my own decision. And I go for the latter every time. Like I would, if you don't do this, we already went over this, but like some people, let's just take an example of, let's say, content creator named Michael Jackson, champion in Siege, everything like that. He gets on and he says, "This is why you are losing in gunfights, and reason number one, you don't have my sensitivity, my exact sensitivity. You don't have my aspect ratio. You don't have this and this and that." And there are content creators that do that, and I'm like, but why? And it stops there, and then you see a bunch of bolo spoit wannabes in the comments being like, "I tried your sense and I dropped 10 kills in one game."
Thanks, bro.
Like, it's like fucking,
Yeah, there's definitely some people out there like that.
Yeah, like, sorry, I kind of went off on like a waffle.
No, you're all right. You're all good.
I'm just trying to give you. I'm trying to help you understand me as a player as much as possible.
I understand completely.
Yeah.
The biggest thing that
Sorry
you need
to talk your ear off.
no, you're completely fine. The biggest thing that you need to focus on is what we talked about here. And keeping consistent with what you're already doing, because you don't need to change much.
Okay. Yeah. Like we'll just go over the things that we've discussed already.
Yep. So
and hopefully I'll be very honest with you if I see an improvement by the end of the month.
if you do a coaching session by the end of the month, I am 99% sure that you will be a completely different player by today until whenever that next coaching session is, 30 days from